Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank them for that dedication. Those many remarks, I beg to move, and I ask the Honorable CPA Julius Ruto, the MP for Great Member of Cases, to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, proceed, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. May I rise to second this motion on Finance Bill, Financial Year 2026. Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking from the ground that I'm also a member of Finance and National Planning Committee, and I did participate all through this particular bill, right after tabling and being committed to the committee, stakeholder engagement, and also participated in county-to-county public participation or public hearing. Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate my chairman for the leadership that he provided throughout this process. And in truth, how he has read out in brief the content of the finance bill, clause by clause, and not forgetting the views of members of public or stakeholders in every clause that is provided in this bill. As I stand to second this, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate that this particular finance bill of this year of 2026 has broadened look at a way of expanding the tax regime than increasing vertically as it used to be before. This is one of the best finance bills that has tried to reorganize the provisions in income tax, provisions in value-added tax, provisions in excise tax, provisions in tax procedures tax, with the objective of reducing the burden on the less taxpayers who have traditionally been known to be contributing to the global tax revenue that finance our budget, and try to accommodate through indirect taxes and deduction of tax expenditure. One of the focus on this particular finance bill, Mr. Speaker, is trying to look at how we are administering our tax expenditure that are increasingly or growing over time to a tune of more than 500 billion a year. It's almost going to 600 or 700 billion or so. That is huge. That, of course, the intention and the objective is to intervene and absorb the burden and pressure on expenditure of disposable income for our taxpayers. However, it is also taking away the advantage and the opportunity to direct resources on the critical expenditure part of our revenue so that we're able to lessen increasing taxes on the few, but derive a balance on all the hands of the society, so that those who are earning less, those who are earning more, are able to contribute in an equilibrium level and be able to achieve the service together in a fair and distribution. And therefore, this finance bill has looked at the issues of VAT. There are many other elements that have been on zero rated, and trying to evaluate the impact of those zero rated over time and the cost element that is bringing about it. And therefore, this finance bill has sought to be able to address those issues and be able to enable the growing expenditure, because as we speak right now, the Committee of Supplies is coming in, and the total budget that is being read out is 4.8 trillion, showing there is an increase, and that also would require sufficient supply of resources to finance that budget. But as this increase in expenditure, which is driven much on demand beyond levels that are manageable, like the other day we see devolution, where county governments through Senate are intervening or requesting of increase on division of revenue. From 420 that had been recommended early, it has grown to 428 billion. This translates to a pressure in already a pressured expenditure of our fiscal framework. And therefore, it calls out on a balancing element or thought out on how to generate revenue to be able to meet that increasing expenditure. And for that purpose, the only way out is to look at on our tax. But I want to appreciate the framers of this financial year finance bill on thinking out of absorbing Kenyans from the burden, especially on disposable income, on salary, on profits from the business, reducing that so that we're able to increase our buying power and focus so much on service delivery, increase in consumption, increase in investment, and growth of our economy. This is why this finance bill of this year, all of us, we should be able to support. Mr. Speaker, I will not end by not mentioning the few challenges that we went through. One of the biggest challenges that we were facing through when we were going public participation is the level of misinformation and disinformation that is perpetrated by our well-placed human beings or people of the society. Some of them are even leaders that are known of leaders of honor in this particular country. but they have been perpetrating misinformation and disinformation, dissuading the belief of Kenyans. And sometimes when you are going to public participation, people are very emotional against a very prudent document that is seeking to address the issues that they need. People are saying that this finance bill seeks to increase taxes on land, seeks to change the ownership of land from freehold to leasehold. And the truth and factual is that there is no content, there is not even a single clause that was mentioning anything to do with lands. And therefore, when we went to the public and we were able to disseminate the information, giving them the documents, I remember in Kiambu, because I was heading one of the co-ord committee, in Kiambu, members of public were astonished and were asking us, then where is the source of this other information and papers that we've been discussing around here that is totally different from the papers that are being laid out here by our National Assembly? And that one tells you the cost and the price that we are going to pay with the misinformation and people who intentionally and deliberately try to dissuade the belief and the views of Kenyans just for the sake of them to pursue their own interest, to pursue their own quest. And I want to dare say this, as the Bible says, what does it gain? What does it benefit for you to gain the whole world and lose life? And then what does it gain for you to destroy our country just for the sake of your own interest, for the sake of your own to pursue your own power, for the sake of you to influence the perception of people in your own agenda? It gains nothing when people are this scandal, when people are, we are destroying our own peace, we destabilize our own country, we destabilize our own economy just because of misinformation and disinformation. And I want to call even about the house of media, that let them be upheld by the code of conduct, so that the information they prosecute, the information they discuss, let them establish the truth and facts, so that we're able to inform our people very well and they make the right decision. And support the upright policies, the policies that is growing, that is going to grow the nation, not the negativity that is bringing about division, dividing people on political ground, and sell out the opportunity of growing our nation all together and achieve the objective of our constitution. Mr. Speaker, I want to support this particular motion. Again, to ask the executors of this particular budget, more so the devolution. I was in Ola. I led a team and I went to Ola public participation. And members of public were crying out that there is an animal abattoir, animal holding that has been promised over 10 years and county government has not implemented. Yet we are going to ask them to give us support to implement policies that are going to raise revenue and they don't realize the objective of that revenue. I want to call upon governors, let them give services. And of course, we know for 7 counties have got different unique challenges. County in Taita Taveta, where I was, women are lamenting for water. They are lamenting for drugs in their facility. They will take all the public participation to explain the frustration they are going through. And these are services which were sought to be addressed through devolution. And then the question that brings about that is, where is the priority of county governments? In these resources that are being, we press Kenyans through finance bill, they will be distributed in our budget through division of revenue. We have grown from 420 to 428, and there is no service, replicating service, that is compensating their sacrifice there. And Kenyans are good. Kenyans are saying we have no problem to pay tax. They even know that they need to pay tax for services. But how are they going to be squeezed when they don't see the replication of the same on those who are vested with power to deliver? Same with the ministers and our PSS. We want to call upon them. It is high time that we saw the value of what Kenyans are giving us. Kenyans are good. We've listened to them. We've gone around the country and collect their views. Lastly, these are issues that Kenyans are asking us, that are we coming to public participation and our contribution have gone into whale? I want to ask them, if you look at the chairman's report, submission by our chairman, has taken into consideration their concerns. Issues to do with taxes on funds, that it was unclear when and how is a fund will be taxed on activation. Every member was asking, if my family member sends me a phone from abroad, I'm going to buy a SIM card, insert it. At that point, it is triggered as activation. Will I pay tax? What is the value? All those questions that Kenyans were asking, we've taken into consideration, and we want to assure them on the volume of the report that is being tabled in this house, it has taken into consideration their concern. There is one issue that KRA and National Treasury consistently have been putting in finance bill, the issue of agency notice, where they're asking that they want to defeat the chassis system by taking into action collectible tax out of their own assessment on a taxpayer who feel that his right has been infringed. And this committee has taken into consideration and say we cannot take out the process of justice that has been provided by our constitution to justice to give KRA powers to exercise that and collect taxes from Kenyans when they have their right to be followed to the latter. And the end of our justice system is as a Supreme Court. Those are the issues that this committee and National Assembly are taking into consideration so that we're able to make laws that favors country, laws that favors Kenyans, laws that promotes equity, laws that promote equalization, and laws that is going to ensure in the long run every Kenyan pays and we derive the value for our money. I support this particular motion. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I said I second this motion. Thank you. Thank you.
You beg to second. Honorable members, I now propose